In practice, there are a number of approaches organisations take to strategy development and implementation. WorkSafe is the health and safety regulator in Victoria, Australia, and manages a $1.85 billion compensation scheme. WorkSafe works on a 5-year strategy cycle. The approach is top-down, where the board completes a number of off-site workshops before the executive leadership team repeats the process. The plans are released in stages, cascading down, and the implementation plan is completed last. So, which approach is WorkSafe taking? REA runs the website realestate.com.au, which is Australia's premier online real estate search company. REA began as an internet startup with a small number of employees and a product. Even as REA took the Australian market by storm and grew very fast in revenue and company size, the approach to strategy was very much one of trial and error. The global marketing manager put it this way: "We simply didn't have time to sit back and reflect on progress, nor go off-site for workshops and PowerPoint decks. We were updating the product so often and expanding into new overseas markets very quickly. So strategy was discussed as work in progress, and we altered our focus in reaction to events rather than future planning." What sort of approach did REA take to strategy? The rational approach and processual approach are two key categories that have emerged over decades of research. We can see that these two organisations are using different approaches to how they design and implement strategy. The rational approach is the older of the two approaches and states that the conception and implementation of strategy are two discrete stages. This linear process begins with setting the long-term goals for the organisation. You assess the external environment using tools such as PESTLE and 5 Forces. Next, the organisation looks to define a clear vision, mission, values and goals. Once complete, you look at the strategic options the organisation can use and finally set an implementation plan to deliver the strategy. As you can see, the rational approach is very much a step-by-step theme with discrete start and end points. A key driver to the development of the processual approach in the 1970s was the effects of the oil crisis that sent economic shock waves around the globe. Put simply, many large organisations had to throw out their long-term plans completely. The term strategy in action came about as companies saw that their strategy was incremental and sometimes developed in an ad hoc manner. In this way, strategy was not developed by managers at a 3-day off-site workshop who could take an abstract view of the organisation. Instead, managers often proceeded through trial and error, making sure they learnt from their mistakes quickly and were then flexible to change direction if required. You will probably be thinking that most organisations are more likely to experience a combination of both of these approaches rather than solely following one specific approach. This is the most likely situation in most circumstances. To recap, the rational approach provides a structured and systematic way to think about strategy, but the processual nature of events within organisations makes strategy much more fluid and even volatile.